What's the secret to persuasion? After watching hours of videos, I've noticed clear patterns in what separates winners from underperformers. It's worth looking out for these patterns in future elections. And the best part? We can all use these techniques in everyday life. How valuable are these skills? Imagine being able to change the way 1 in 4 people think. Let's look at how persuasion can change a political career. Chee Soon-juan went from barely 20% in 2001 to a solid 45% in 2020. Love him or hate him? That's a serious comeback. Here's another example. Singapore's ruling party versus its biggest opposition in 2020. The PAP's best performing candidates got 61%, while their weakest candidates got just 40%. That's a difference of 21 percentage points. A real testament of how much persuasion can tip the scales. Let's start by examining cases where the PAP did well against the WP and gradually move to cases where they didn't do so well.
And I know that many of you are concerned about job losses, changes to your way of life, and uncertainties about your children's future. I have set up an online jobs and legal clinic to help address your queries, and also a local job placement service to help you with your job search. But I know that the external environment is very stormy, and you may feel depressed, your confidence dented. I assure you that I will work closely with the government to identify opportunities for you. I have also set up a $200,000 Punggol West Fund to help families who have fallen between the cracks.
In 40 seconds, she conveys 4 messages. She understands people's concerns and fears. She's offered real solutions to tackle those concerns. She'll help people financially, logistically, and emotionally. There's reassurance and confidence. She'll use a PAP affiliation as a protective shield for residents. What some see as a weakness, she sees as a strength. She seems like a problem solver, someone who listens, understands, and actually does something about your worries. Now let's look at her opponent.
I'm Tan Chen Chen from the Workers' Party. I'm married with a 3-month-old baby. I'm contesting in this election because I believe a government needs to be accountable to its people. In order to achieve this, we need to have a strong opposition in the parliament to question policy. I joined the Workers' Party as a candidate to contest in Punggol West SMC. I hope to bring the residents' concern to the parliament. Thank you for your support. Make your vote count.
What concerns? What policies? This speech could have been written in 5 minutes, and it feels like it was. There's no sense of what she actually stands for, let alone what she's done. And Sun appears to genuinely connect with voters, while Tan just hands out her flyers to voters. Tan got 39% of the vote, 12 percentage points below her party's average. Now let's look at a Workers' Party candidate that did slightly better. Bernard Chen got 6 percentage points below his party's average. What did he promise?
Number 1, I will set up my MPS in the shortest possible time. Number 2, I would like to assure needy residents and the elderly that in an event of a transition, there will be little disruption to the assistance they are presently receiving from the voluntary welfare organizations. Number 3, I would extend an invitation to the National Heritage Board to document and preserve the heritage and history of McPherson.
Those are good concrete promises. But let's compare them to just one promise his opponent made.
在我和大家聊天的时候，我知道其实医药费仍然是我们长辈们心里面担忧的一个课题，所以我会继续的筹款、加强、扩展我们麦伯生关怀基金，来照顾我们 55岁以上低收入的居民们。
She knows residents' concerns. I don't know if her opponent does. Moreover, Tin Pei Ling's promise directly addresses a top voter concern by offering a tangible benefit. Bernard Chen focuses on administrative details and heritage. Important? Sure, but not what voters are asking for. It's like making sure your phone has a nice case when the battery is dying. What's the meta point? Know what your listeners want and focus on it. Can candidates understand voters' concerns, even if they're not the incumbent MP? Yes. Let's look at Tin Pei Ling's rally speech before she was first elected.
I've walked more than 30 blocks. That's 1/3 of the ground in Macpherson. I've visited each market at least twice. Some of the residents even recognized me and said, "I recognize you." Along the way, I heard residents share their stories, hopes, and concerns with me. And please let me share with you a comprehensive plan that I have for Macpherson. For the elderly, we need to care for them physically. We need to ensure easy access through barrier-free access facilities and amenities. And for our low-income families, we will multiply our outreach through our VWOs and grassroots to ensure timely access to assistances that they need.
Tin Pei Ling didn't sell political promises. She showed genuine concern for her community. Now let's look at a case where the WP had an edge over the PAP. The PAP made good constructive suggestions.
We have already brought a job center to Sengkang and job fairs to help you look for jobs if you need that help. We will set up a new Sengkang Town Council to better serve your municipal needs.
And the WP did the same, but was much more passionate.
We also want to tackle issues that truly matter to the people in Sengkang. Relieving bottlenecks in childcare centers, dedicated paths for bicycles and PMDs, and more neighborhood spaces. We will do so with a new town council.
That's fresh and aspirational. Jamus won't just be managing a town. He'll build something new. His confident, almost celebratory tone made it sound like an upgrade, not just a transition. Jamus also benefited from sharing the Workers' Party's vision in a televised debate.
Now, the PAP would tend to side on the side of capital. We think, in fact, that for every dollar of national income, Singaporean workers already receive an insufficient amount, 42 cents. Compare that to 55 cents in Japan, and much higher in other high-income countries. And we think that a rebalance of that kind of share of labor income is ultimately necessary.
Jamus wasn't selling opposition to the government. He sold a vision that was framed as a positive alternative, not just a critique of the status quo. That's the key takeaway from both Jamus and Tin Pei Ling. People don't just buy products, they buy meaning. If you're a real estate agent, you can sell a house, or you can sell the dream of a home. Which one do you think persuades better? Finally, let's look at a contest where the Workers' Party had a massive victory. Let's listen to the PAP's Aljunied team from 2020.
In GE 2015, we stood up for you, forced the recount. Aljunied is yours, not somebody's political hostage.
Are they more focused on winning votes or actually serving Aljunied? It's like a salesman saying, "Trust me, I almost sold this last time," instead of proving why you should buy it. Let's move on to another candidate.
We have been on the Aljunied ground over the years and we know your concerns. For example, in Serangoon, wouldn't you like to spend less time waiting in the jam when driving down Serangoon Garden Way?
It's good that they've identified problems, but when the example only speaks to a small group of affluent people and they don't propose a solution to the problem, it doesn't hit home for everyone. In contrast, the Workers' Party offered a coherent argument based on experience and accountability.
All 5 of us have parliamentary experience. As Workers' Party MPs, we have been rational and responsible. We support the government agenda when we think it is on the right track and oppose it only when we find it not to be in the national interest. For instance, we opposed the government's population white paper in 2013 because we did not agree that Singapore needed a 6.9 million population to be dynamic. We also refused to apologize for questioning the government on GST. If you vote for a PAP team in Aljunied GRC, your new MPs will have to support the agenda of their party. And they may even need to watch what they say in order not to fall out of favour with their party leadership.
Singh uses contrast to his advantage. Just as Sun Xueling highlighted the benefits of a PAP MP, Pritam Singh focuses on the disadvantage of electing a PAP MP. They are less likely to be an alternative voice. Singh continues by explaining his team's track record.
You know that services in your estate are functioning from cleaning to pest control. There have also been improvement works such as additional linkways, and there are currently other works in progress.
Singh also demonstrated respect for voters.
GE 2015 was a close call for us when we won by just 2,626 votes. We understand that your vote needs to be earned. We have worked hard to earn your trust, sometimes under very difficult circumstances. For those who feel that we have not met your expectations, we seek your understanding and promise to do better.
Singh painted the Workers' Party as valuable and humble. Of course, winning an election isn't just about persuading voters. Fundraising, ground operations, and party machinery matter too. But persuasion is what ultimately changes minds. And in every aspect of an election, persuasion plays a key role. Persuasion is like cooking a good bowl of laksa. You start with the right ingredients: empathy, credibility, and a coherent argument. And when done right, it is not just food. It's a source of comfort from the harshness of life. The best persuaders, like the best cooks, understand that what they create isn't a product. It's an experience that truly matters. Thanks for watching.